Hi, folks. I'm Jamie Hiles.
I'm Lydia Judy.
And I'm Derek Lemaster.
This is Screen Bloody Movies,
Yeah.
a podcast where we review a movie each week, go over the horror news, and guys, boy, we're back with the tall man today as we review Phantasm III, The Search for Spock.
That sounds about
I
right.
might have got franchises crossed there. Who knows? How are you guys doing tonight?
Terrible.
That's not great. That's not a great.
I'm better than that, but I'm pretty tired.
I'm okay. I'm alright.
I've been
Not
sick
bad.
all week. Like all last weekend, 4th of July weekend, I was sick. All week I've been cooped up. I'm trying to feel better and it's just not working.
Yeah, it's not good. I have a sick wife and a grouchy baby, so that's a great combo. But we're making it through. We are powering through. With the help of tonight's movie, actually. Got me through one of the early days of this week, so we're good to go on that. Guys, I'm ready to talk about Phantasm 3 because this is our third trip to the tall man's world. But before we get into that, I wanted to touch on some horror news. And guys, I have some news. I've got some news. Let's start with this. This is the saddest news. Shelley Duvall has passed away at the age of 75 today.
Aww.
Yep. Huge career, of course, horror royalty because of The Shining. But also, one of my all-time favorite movies is when I was a kid. Robert Altman's Popeye. Who doesn't love Robert Altman's Popeye when they're kids? Come on.
Dude, she had,
Loved it.
Later in life, she had some mental problems. So.
She did. She did. But she...
Great talent.
Very long career. She worked with Robert Altman multiple times, throughout her career. And also one of the things I forgot about was Shelley Duvall's Tales and Legends in Shelley Duvall's bedtime stories, children's shows that she did. And who can forget her excellent role in Suburban Commando?
Oh, she was in Suburban Commando.
She's the wife in Suburban Commando.
Yeah.
You ever seen Suburban Commando?
I want to rent a room.
No.
Is what I said.
Suburban Commando is fucking wild. It is. It's Hulk Hogan as an intergalactic bounty hunter that crash lands on Earth and rents a room from Christopher Lloyd and his family.
Well, of course.
And The Undertaker, Mark Calloway, is also in this movie.
He's a bounty hunter as well.
Yeah. You're a
I believe
Ramsey?
Yeah, Hulk's name is Chet Ramsey.
Yeah, he looks like a Chet Ramsey.
Fun fact about Suburban Commando, I went to the movies and saw that when I was a kid.
I guarantee I did too. Man, I'm 100%.
I remember with my mom, she took me and Zachary to see it, and I remember seeing The Undertaker and be like, Bub, that's The Undertaker! It was great. It's a horrible, horrible film, but it's really fun.
It sounds amazing.
There's the one bit
that had to be there.
There's a bit, Lydia. There's a bit where the bounty hunters try to freeze him, and he's like in the hardware store, and they spray him with the ice, and it cuts back to him, and he's fine because he was drinking antifreeze, and he says, "Antifreeze." Special movie.
I feel like that probably should have been part of my childhood. I feel like
it should have been. It's a special thing.
It can be a part of your adulthood for sure. Or take a seat. Oh, that's funny. That carries a giant leg. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
I said take a seat.
But Shelley Duvall, great life. Cheers to you.
Yes, I love Shelley Duvall. I just have to say, I think about her all the time. I don't know what it is, but I really just she is on my mind a lot for some reason.
Well, she's super unique. She was a super
She
unique
is. She's
actress.
so beautiful. I think I actually did a drawing of her like a long time ago.
And
I
she had
just
like a very just unique presence, and her performance in The Shining is like next level good. It's next
and in
We
level.
gotta do The
Popeye.
Shining, man.
Yeah,
There's so much clout that surrounds that movie.
yeah, and
You know what I
you know
mean?
what? Yeah,
Mhm.
and then when you talk about Popeye, it's like she was born to play Olive Oil. By the way,
She was
100%,
like
man.
perfectly cast as Olive Oil.
I remember being like, "Oh, that's Olive Oil from the cartoon. That's her."
Yes, she's so gorgeous.
Yeah, great. All right. So continuing on, I felt like we had to report this news because we've been reporting on it a lot. But we got some new Dexter Original Sin casting. It looks
Sarah.
she's already in it. She's already
I
in
know.
it.
I'm just singing her praises. She's gonna do a great job.
But Joey Pants has a recurring role in this, guys. So that's great. I don't know who he's playing, but he's going to be in this Joe Paleontalo. You guys know Joey Pants, of course.
Do we?
You you guys, yes, he's the chief from Bad Boys.
Uh,
He's in. Hang on, Jesus Christ,
I
Joey
just kept
Pants.
wanting to. Oh, I just kept wanting to make a underwear joke.
Well, that's because I'm glad you didn't. Your probably brain wasn't working that fast.
It was. I just thought it was a stupid joke, so I was like, I'm not gonna say it. But I thought of one.
Well, so then your brain was working even faster because you realized that. Good work, guys. We have a release date for the final Conjuring movie, Conjuring 4.
Ooh.
Final. That's dumb.
Y-
I wouldn't put a
Yeah.
nail in that coffin.
Well, it looks like they are because this will be getting a theatrical release in September 5th of next year, 2025.
What's it called?
So we don't have any name yet. It's just Conjuring 4 up at this point. But David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick, that's a name, who wrote the screenplay for Conjuring 2, is returning for this one. And then, of course, James Wan and Peter Safran are producing. And it looks to be directed by the guy that did the last one, Michael Chavez. So, what do
The
you guys
Conjuring
think?
Last Rites.
Yes. Is that, well, kind of, because it doesn't really have a full title. It just says Conjuring 4. So any other title you hear is just fan titles.
That's on IMDb. I'm
What do you
excited.
guys-
I'm sad. I hope that they roll that back. I hope this is a smashing success, and they continue. Because why would you want to stop?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
unless
Like,
the
it's
actors
not like
are
they
done.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be, but it's not like you can age out of those roles. You know what I mean? Like, you can progress because those folks had like a crazy career of
Grifting.
bamboozling people.
Yeah,
So-
grifting.
So they could keep it going.
Hey,
I hope
we
it
gotta
does
keep
great.
it 100.
Like we got more rides in us.
Well,
I love the two of them. Like they are
Yeah, they're
really
terrific.
Great
Yeah.
chemistry. Yeah, that'll be a sad day when they retire those characters.
yeah, but I'm excited for another one. Glad they're making one. I didn't know if they were going to make another one after The Devil Made Me Do It. I knew the universe was continuing, but I didn't know if we were going to get another full-blown Conjuring movie. So this is great news.
Yeah, I watched it. It was. I
We'll
would
talk
watch
about
it again. Yeah,
Yeah,
get
we'll
there.
get to it.
I can't wait
Uh,
to talk about it, guys.
So, guys, this is some big news here. It has been announced that Sam Raimi is returning to horror to direct a new movie for 20th Century called Send Help. It is described as a horror comedy about a woman and her coworker that is trapped on a deserted island. It's been called the story indicates that it's a fall somewhere between Rob Reiner's Misery and Robert Zemeckis' Castaway. So
You
Sam
know,
Raimi,
like, oh, go ahead.
I said Sam Raimi returning to horror. I've already got front row seats. I'm there. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to
don't care what it
say,
is.
yeah, I want to say it like Freddy says it, and I forget which one it's in, but he goes, "Daddy's home." I'm pretty sure he says that line in movies. But anyway, I'll be here all week. I'll be here all week.
What the fuck?
I know that Freddy says "Daddy's home," and it's just appropriate because
I remember
guys
him
are
saying,
mean.
"It's a boy."
No.
It's probably if he says "Daddy's home," then it's Nightmare. It's Freddy's dead. It would have to be. That'd be the only one that would make sense, right? Because that's the only one
Yeah.
where he's a dad.
Maybe I'm wrong on that, but whatever.
Yeah,
It's still.
I think you are. You are. You know who does say that? Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. What do you guys think of this? This news. Sam
What's it
Raimi.
called? Is that
Sin
called
Help.
anything yet?
Sin Help.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I'm like, we have to watch it. I'm ready.
Yeah, and here's the best thing. I mean, that's not the best thing, but it's an original script by Damien Shannon and Mark Swift, who wrote the script for Freddy vs. Jason, and also wrote the script for the Friday the 13th remake. So they've got some horror cred, and so this sounds great. I'm excited. Also, there's a rumor that it's not reported, so I'm literally going to say that it's a rumor. But one of the rumors is that Sandra Bullock is eyeing the female lead character role.
Ooh.
Which would be excellent. Send me
Wouldn't be
all the
mad
Sam
about
Raimi
that.
horror comedies.
Yep.
Like, guys, how great is Drag Me to Hell? I mean, we know all the Evil Deads are great, but Drag Me to Hell is just an underrated masterpiece, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I think I saw somewhere that they are working on a potential sequel to that.
Yeah, it's been kind of hinted at that he's developing that. That would also be great.
That would be.
And then finally, this last bit of news, guys. This is so cool. I saw this today, and I got so excited. Mike Flanagan has started a podcast, right?
What?
Called Director's Commentary. And in this
What?
podcast, it's in 2 acts. So the first act, the first hour the first act, they're separated into 2 different episodes. The first one is an interview with a filmmaker. And in the second episode, they watch one of the filmmaker's films in real time and record an audio commentary track that you can
Whoa.
watch along with the
Cool.
movie.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
With Mike Flanagan, I was like, I love this so much. He announced it on Twitter today, and I was like, like. This is the best news ever.
Yes.
You have no
That is
idea
awesome.
how this gives me my car rides something to do. So yeah, that should be a lot of fun. And because guys, directors' commentaries are kind of like a lost art these days. They don't put them on as many movies when they release physical copies, which is a damn shame. That was the best part of Laserdiscs and DVDs, right? Is getting directors' commentaries. When we release Secret of My Earth, we're gonna record a director's commentary, and it's gonna be downloadable. And when we release physical copies, it's gonna be on the disc. Because I love director's commentaries, right?
Yeah.
Man, I think I've only ever listened to one commentary.
What was it?
It was for Tropic Thunder.
Oh, that's a great one.
That's probably
really
a great one. Yeah.
It is.
I felt like
Yeah,
the entire time Jack Black was just like the odd man out, but that's okay.
Robert Downey Jr. was in character the entire time
I know that's the best part about it. That's
because
I
he
was
doesn't
like, oh,
break
I gotta
character till the
see.
DVD commentary.
Put character to the DVD commentary. Yeah,
That's pretty
he's
funny.
great.
No, dude, I've
That's great.
watched. I have so many directors' commentaries I've listened to. But my all time favorite director's commentary is for Evil Dead 2. That thing is so fucking hilarious because you have Sam, you have Bruce, you have Scott Spiegel, and then they're just riffing the entire time, giving us real facts about the movie while also making fun of shit. It's just glorious. It can't get any better. Trust me.
That's amazing.
There's a bit where they start. So you know when Jake gets stabbed, and with the Kandarian dagger, they
Yeah.
talk about this. When Scott and Sam were writing the script, Scott pictured it as he gets stabbed and he falls down, and when he falls down, he's by the trap door. That's how he gets pulled in. But Sam staged it to where she has to drag him clear across the fucking house while he's going, and she's yelling at him, and they are fucking crying, laughing at the absurdity of this. It makes me love it even more.
That's such a great scene too, because I remember you saying that they had to film it like several times over, and she was so exhausted by the end of dragging a full grown man across the set.
Yeah, she just yelled, "Shut up! Shut up!"
Just full at a full 10 level
Yeah.
energy, like just
Yeah. So good. Bruce Campbell's commentary for the original Evil Dead is really fun too on the original track because he wasn't. So Sam and Rob record theirs separately because Bruce couldn't make it, so he records his own, and it's really funny. But now there's a brand new commentary for the 4K and Blu-ray release. That's pretty good, but not as funny. All right, so guys, check out director's commentary. Now, guys, picture it. The year is 1994. The same year as The Mask. Just so you know, because that came out that same year. But it's 1994. And it's time to watch Phantasm 3. Have you guys ever seen Phantasm 3 before?
no.
One time, maybe.
One
There
time.
were parts of this movie that seemed familiar, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it one time.
So,
Most likely with you.
I remember vividly the first time I watched this movie. Because this movie had a small theatrical release. Not a huge theatrical, really small theatrical, like a festival run. And then it was released straight to VHS, straight to video. And so it came out around 1995-ish. And I was about 9, and I remember my stepdad renting this movie because he liked the other two. And I
Yeah.
remember us watching this. I remember watching it and being like, what in the fuck is this? Like, I was like mind blown. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
It was
And
the first Phantasm you saw.
this was the first Phantasm I watched, was this one. Because I had no
Amazing.
context for what any of it was. But
It's
I
probably
thought it
the
was
best way.
yeah, I thought it was really cool, and I thought it was funny, and then I thought it was really scary too when I was a kid, especially seeing the tall man. Because I mean, face it, if you're a kid, you see the tall man, that shit's scary.
Well,
I remember,
especially with the way he carries himself, for sure.
yeah, I remember being like, oh,
Yeah.
like man,
I was
this is
thinking
scary.
that. I was thinking that when I was watching this movie. I was like, these are all like things that specifically like feed children's fear.
Yeah, they do. So I've always had kind of a soft spot for this because of the first Phantasm I saw, and I vividly remember because I remember after it ended, and it ends, you know, with Reggie pinned up against the thing and Tim getting pulled through the window. I remember just being like, "Oh, hope is lost! Like, what is going on? I don't like it." I didn't understand the rules of horror yet. You know what I mean? So I just
Yeah.
was like, "What did I just watch?" And then he's like, "All right, go to bed." And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I
talking
got
about?
questions.
Not only that, but I think that tall dude's going to be standing up in my room. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? So, yeah, I vividly remember watching this. So, guys, it is several years later. I mean, this is 1994, 93, 94 it was shot, and Phantasm 2 came out in 88.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things I wanted to
So,
mention. So they had flashbacks in this, right? So Mike
mhm,
has a flashback and remembers the tall man and
mhm,
that he was near an ice box and he's afraid of cold. So it made
mhm.
me like want to put this in perspective. So the first movie came out in 1979.
Yes,
The
Crazy.
second movie came out in 1988. So
yes,
what, 9 years later? And then this movie came out in 1994.
yeah,
So it's a
Insane.
crazy span, 25 years
That's
yeah,
between the first
insane.
and the third.
yeah. So, yeah, exactly. And it had been a full 6 years since the last movie came out in theaters and such. And so this one had a budget of $2.5 million. So it's just a little bit. It's like $500,000 less on paper than Phantasm 2 had.
Oh no.
What?
Pause,
Actually
guys.
meant
Hang on.
15.
All right, pause. What?
Oh shoot.
What's going on?
I forget how to make this noise go away. Shit. Oh.
I don't
I
hear
always
a noise.
forget how to do this.
I hear it.
Damn it. Can you guys hear this?
Yeah.
This is playing in my headphones right now.
Is it one of your tabs open in your web browser?
It's actually the background on the computer. So I'm like, I forget how to make it go away. Okay, it's like gotta be one of these things. Scroll down, maybe?
This is the perfect reason why I own a Mac.
Oh, I figured it out.
Good job.
Cool.
Good job.
Yes.
All right.
Jake doesn't have to yell at me.
Yeah.
Real quick, slight correction. I was not 25, it was 15. 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, 15 years. But so yeah, this one had again, like I said, a budget of 2.5 million. The part 3 had a $3 million budget, so it's slightly less. And so, where do you want to start with this? Because, like I said, it takes place. So the first thing to talk about is that Michael Baldwin is back as Mike. So if you guys remember, James LeGros took over for Mike in part 2 because the studio said you can only have one. You can have Mike or you can have Reggie, and he wisely chose Reggie. He chose Reggie. So
Any background
when
to
this
why the studio felt like that was a necessary rule?
Yes, because they wanted. We talked about it in the Phantasm 2 discussion, but I think it's because they basically studio, they wanted to have their prints on it, and they wanted to cast a young lead, and they wanted they wanted stars really, but they definitely wanted to cast a young hot lead, and so they wouldn't let him recast both of his friends and actors, and so he had to choose.
That
So he chose
sucks.
Reggie. Yeah, so he chose Reggie, which was wise, obviously, for the franchise. Because I mean, this is the movie where things shift. This is where the focus shifts from Mike to Reggie. Is this movie?
Yeah.
But so yeah, he's back. And what do you guys think of him as Mike? I mean, he is Mike.
He is
Yeah.
Mike. That's how I
Yeah,
think
he
of
is
him.
Mike. Yeah,
It wasn't so distracting to have someone else that we have to
just some random guy. You're like, who the fuck is this guy?
yeah. And I don't exactly remember. I wanted to rewatch it, but I didn't have time. But I don't exactly remember how I felt about just having a different character in that role, if he was good or not. I cannot
fine.
remember him at all. But I do remember seeing the flashback and being like, that wasn't him. Like, what was up with that guy's face in that? I was like, was that a different guy, or did they reshoot that with like a bunch of makeup on this guy, or I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, so when they recap the end of
Yeah.
part 2, it's our Mike wearing
Okay.
the same clothes as part 2 Mike.
It looked so weird to me that I was like, what's happening here?
But they frame it in such a way to hide the other Mike because they reuse footage because her footage is stock footage because Liz is dead at the beginning. You know, she is getting eaten by the lurkers and immediately, because that's another thing. I mean, that's the reason Liz was so horribly killed off at the beginning is because Don Coscarelli didn't want the Liz character in the original Phantasm 2. That was also a studio mandate. So
Crazy.
that whole plot line is. So he's like
politics.
Well, yep. So he's like, well, that's gone. So let's move on to the story I want to tell, which is just, you know, Reggie searching for Mike, trying to get laid.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were gonna write a sentence to summarize the movie, that's pretty spot on.
Yeah. So,
yep,
guys, let's talk about Reggie real fast. He's morphed into basically our lead at this point. What do you guys think of Reggie? I mean, besides how great he is, obviously, right?
He's so great.
The lovable idiot,
Reggie.
I think, is a good way to phrase that. And man, when I created the title for this, I named it Reggie Tries Again because he is just like that scene in the car where he's like, "Kid, you're gonna have to sleep out here."
Dude, the Rocky scene.
They
Well, let's talk
only
about.
had-
Yeah, we'll talk
they
about
only
that in
had
a
one
second.
bed.
We'll talk about that in a second. But Reggie is like an all-timer in this one, right? Like, I mean,
He is.
he kind of cements the Reggie character in this one. Like, there's hints of it in part 2. He starts to develop that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But in this one, he's like fully that guy, I think.
It's very like Ash-esque.
He's very
you know?
Ash. Yeah.
Like he
has
this comedy. He's like also like cool when he probably shouldn't be. Like I don't know. Like he's got the charisma in this one for sure.
The confidence for sure. Come on, babe.
Yeah,
dude, the confidence is the best. So let's talk about Rocky real fast. Let's talk about all the characters. Let's bring down the characters before we get into the story. What do you guys think of Rocky?
I like Rocky.
I do like Rocky a lot.
Yeah, she's cool.
She is cool, man. She's got the attitude. Although,
it's really cool.
Man, she really needs to learn how to hold on to her nunchucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But she's a badass.
Yeah, I like. And what do you guys think of Tim?
I love Tim.
The little kid. Oh man,
yeah.
he's great. I wish I was that kid.
So Tim isn't. What?
I know.
Well,
Parents would be dead. You'd be chased by the tall man.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
You just like the Home Alone, like clown, creepy death house setup.
I was gonna say that he's kind of like a mix of like fucking Kevin McAllister, but like if I'm gonna try and kill these mofo's.
Well, there's definitely some Kevin
Survival.
McAllister in that first scene, but he's also, I mean, like a straight homage to Mike from the original movie.
Yeah,
down to his clothes. He's wearing the same clothes, the fucking denim jacket.
He's determined.
Yeah. I think he does a pretty good job. Some people don't like Tim. I think he's fine.
There was one scene where I was like, what the heck? Like when he gets grabbed by one of the like, dead, gang people or whatever, and he's just like, ah. I was like,
yeah. I mean, there's some. He's not like the best actor, but he's fine. He's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. Either it made me like hesitate for a second, but I was like, it's fine. Look at this.
And then, what do you guys think? Let's talk about him too. We had to give him his due. What do you guys think about the tall man?
Scarier than ever.
He is who he thought he is.
Dude, he's so good. There's a great shot that I've always remembered and I love when we do that pushing shot and he's sitting on like that throne with all the candles and shit surrounding him. That's such a cool. He looks so scary.
Yeah.
And then when he like opens up the ball and he rubs the brain and he makes that like weird face.
Gross.
I was
His
"Whoa."
facial expressions, I feel like in this movie were like next level. Like he really expressed himself a lot. I mean, he always does the like eyebrow raise, which I can't do.
Yeah.
But he like really they played on that a lot, and he did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tall man.
There was also a scene. I think it's when he's like in he's in one of their dreams or whatever, in Reddy's dream, and he's like the light, this like laser kind of light is like all green, and then as soon as he steps into it, it turns red, and you just see his silhouette. I was like,
so the movie picks up exactly where we left off in Phantasm II. We get a cool hospital scene, which is kind of neat, where he is attacked by this deadite style woman, and Reggie like walks in and is just like sprayed in the face like ah. Also 100% flirting with the woman at the front desk immediately.
Yeah.
I'm like fucking Reggie. He only has one mode. We're also introduced to Jody is reintroduced in this one, played by the same actor, which is pretty cool. What do you guys think of that plot line?
I wasn't sure if that was the same one either, because it had been so long that I was like, is that the same guy?
Yep, it is.
Seriously, like, he's got to be so much older, right?
15 years older, yeah.
15 years?
Yep.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's cool that that's the same guy.
What did you think of, like, his whole side art? Because he's basically turned into a ball at this point, but he can manifest himself. I was super confused. Well, there's no logic. I mean, it's Phantasm.
Yeah. And that's what I kind of just went with it. I was just like, don't know why that's happening, but okay.
Yeah, they definitely transitioned in this movie away from like the I don't even know what you call them, the short, stubby people.
Lurkers.
To lurkers. From those to these balls, and like they go into this backstory.
Well, the balls have always been there.
Well, I know, but like they go into the back, there's more of them. Like you might see one or two, like in this one, and they're transitioning people. Like they explain it. They shrink down the body, and it's which we don't see very many of those.
And they remove the brain. They shrink down the body so that they can withstand the atmosphere of the tall man's planet. Is kind of like the lore
or realm or dimension. Or whatever,
because the gravity's so crushing. And then
makes you wonder how he survives. He's taller than all of them.
Because he's a tall man. We'll have to watch parts 4 and 5 to figure it out. So this Reggie's basically after Mike gets taken by the tall man, and locked away. Reggie is on a quest to find him, and the first half of this movie is just like actually more than the first half, but a good chunk of this movie is like a road movie. Which I kind of fucking love, right? I kind of love Reggie going from town to town, trying to find Mike, and traveling in the fucking Himikuda, which is awesome still, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with his 4-barrel shotgun, just roaming around. And so what do you guys think of the scene when he meets Tim? First of all, those fucking gang members. Let's talk about them for a minute.
Yeah, he comes out and he's like, this woman is like rummaging through his car, and he's like, "Can I help you?" And she just was like, "What does she say?" It's such a funny interaction.
Not only does he just see her rummaging her car or his car, he immediately checks her out.
Yeah, because she's wearing like a skin tight black dress with like a cool gold belt, like just. Big hair, and that's all you see, and you're just like, he's like, all right, who's this?
Yeah, I'm down.
And then she reaches back in there. She's like, somebody just left all their stuff here, so I'm helping myself. And she's like, look what I found, and pulls out like his gun, and she just starts blasting it.
She turns into
like,
DeVito,
oh, no.
So blasting.
okay, hand it over.
Dude, these guys are lunkheads, and so they're like, we're gonna steal his car, we're gonna drive him to the outskirts of town, and we're gonna kill him and bury him. I don't know why they just didn't kill him there, but that's fine. And they stop at this house. They're like, ooh, this house looks like there's a lot of good shit in here. Let's go rummage it up.
Man, I would think the same thing if I saw that house.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, they run into Tim, who, like, puts a hatchet through the girl's head, like a tomahawk.
Straight away.
Yeah.
And then the other two chase him outside, and we get, like, guys, this fucking frisbee razor
Goofy.
blades thing is goofy as fuck.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It's funny though. I like it, but it's
it is.
goofy.
Yeah, it's not as good as a hatchet to the face.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
like how
you know what I really admire about this scene and like these characters in general. Like they took the practical effects, and
Mhm.
I loved the practical effects in this movie.
Oh yeah,
I think
good
they
always.
played really well, and like him getting the throat slit and falling down, and then like just their transition into these ghouls. It was great. I love that part.
Yeah. So what's funny is, after after he drops, after he kills the guy, after he falls into the hole, and he shoots him off screen, and he and Reggie, go ahead.
The third guy. I just had a thought because I was like, okay, wait, there was a third guy that was with him. Did you
Yeah.
recognize that guy?
Yeah, he's in tons and tons of stuff.
Okay, but is he specifically in Adventures in Babysitting?
He is the villain in Adventures in Babysitting.
Yes.
Is
Okay, I
he?
knew it. I knew
Yes, he's the guy that hand me the magazine.
What?
That's him. Yeah.
I knew
Yeah.
he looked familiar. I was like, it's gotta be from that.
His name's John Davis Chandler. He's in a tons and tons of stuff. But yeah, Adventures in Babysitting. He's in
Oh
the
yeah,
Outlaw.
you're right.
Yep, Outlaw Josie Wales. Trancers movies. Carnosaur. This was his second to last movie. He did this and then
Wow.
Carnosaur 2.
Carnosaur.
Yep, and then he passed away in 2010. But yeah, he's definitely the villain in Adventures of Babysitting.
Nice. Awesome.
Nobody leaves this place without singing the blues. Yes, Adventures of Babysitting is great. It's one of my favorites.
So good.
So yeah, after all that stuff goes down, and then when the next time they see him, it's so funny because you completely forgot about him. Like, that the next day the lurkers have got them, and you're just kind of like, oh yeah. But then you go through all this other shit, so you forget they even were there, and then they just pop back up, and you're like, oh fuck, these guys are back.
Yeah.
Well, we forgot about them driving that hot rod hearse. So when we meet Rocky in the mausoleum, and she's with her friend, we immediately. So I don't know about you guys, but if I was in any place and I saw a fucking sphere flying on its own, my instinct would not be to just stand there and watch it.
Yeah, I wonder what it's gonna do. Yeah, I'd run too. I agree.
I'd probably watch it.
Well, she gets her
Well, yeah.
brain sucked out immediately. She's done, and then Rocky slaps it with her nunchuko, and then and then Tim shoots it down. So we have like a trio. What's interesting is they leave Rocky, and then they're driving around lost, and they somehow come back upon Rocky.
Notice that too.
So I'm like, I don't know, but it's Phantasm. So I'm like, well, it's dream logic. It's dream logic. So sure, of course they run back into Rocky, I guess. But they were lost, so they might have circled around. You know what I mean? Who knows? But when Rocky joins the gang, it's so fun because we have this trio, and let's talk about the hotel scene because this thing is so funny when he's trying to talk Tim into staying in the car.
Yeah.
He's like, he goes, just keeps going.
Yeah. Hand gesturing behind her back so that he will
Yeah.
stay in the car.
The fact that the guy offers, he's like, so we have a room that has 2 twin beds or one with a queen. And he's like, I'll take the queen. Well, guys, they only have one room with a queen size bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the fact that he just, when they're in the hotel, he's just trying so hard, man. And she's like, oh, yeah, we have to do it my way. And she just handcuffs him to the headboard and then makes him sleep there all night.
Which I was like, nice. Yeah, she got it.
Yeah.
She warned him. She warned him.
She did. I like when he goes, oh, shit. Like, and then it just fades to him with the map the next day. Like he didn't just get shut down.
Also,
And he's still
sleeping
trying.
with your hands, with your arms like completely straight up would suck so bad.
So it's so funny that he's just undeterred. Reggie just is
Yeah.
undeterred because
Yeah.
then even after, like when they're in the woods and they're camping out and she's like, it's going to be a cold night. He's like, you know what they say, body, 2 bodies in one, one sleeping bag is how you keep warm. And she's like, good night, Reg. And he's just like, Tim's like laughing at him. And then he has that fucking wild dream where he's like having sex with her.
Yeah. Dude, I looked away for a second and like looked back up and was like, what the hell happened? Like, what is going
And how
on?
did they get back into a room? Weren't they just outside?
Yeah.
I love how Jody's just like kind of like, hey, Reg. He's like, oh, hey, Jody.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm a little busy
over
here.
here.
It's like, I need you to come now. And he tells her, don't move. And then they walk into that, they open the door and they're in the desert. And he
Yeah.
says, where are we? I don't know, man. Somewhere in your mind. I fucking love that line. Just so
Yes,
cool.
it's
So
so
he's wearing
good.
his sunglasses and he's like, I don't know, man. Somewhere in your mind. And I'm like, oh, that boils down this whole movie. The whole
Yep.
franchise is just that line. And so, you guys, what do you guys think of all that stuff?
Yeah, I think I agree with that line. That stuck with me. I was like, yeah, that's exactly like why nothing makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, and he says, I remember coming here as a boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Dry lake bed.
Yeah, dry lake bed.
Yeah.
And then they, of course, they rescue Mike. And this is that scene you were talking about, Lydia, where they like do the tuning forks and they
Yeah.
end up in like that weird like nebulous area where Mike's like held in like a mausoleum. And
Yeah.
that cool shot where the lights just turn red when the tall man walks in is really cool.
It's
Just
nightmarish.
steps in. Yeah, and you're like, oh.
It's like the tone changed
Yeah.
from like interesting to
Kind of fun.
suddenly scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like it. And then he, he chases him out, and then he, Jody wakes him, and he has to do the tuning fork trick again, and cuts off the tall man's hands. Derek, I know you were talking about the practical effects earlier. What do you think about this hand bit?
It's pretty good, especially when it turns into like a creature
Yeah,
and it's got
That's what
like
I
its
mean,
face, and you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
those are great.
After
I
it
think.
climbs into his bag, yeah, no, it really was like, and it like sheds his skin, and it just like, at first I thought his hands evaporated, but then you see something crawled into the bag, and then it shoves its finger all the way up into
Ugh.
Reg's like in his nose cavity. His
Yeah.
sinuses. You're just like, ew.
Dude,
Yeah.
and when it's crawling up his pants, and she
Yeah.
stabs his
She's
crotch.
like, "Ah!"
I thought it was suspenseful too when he was like about to open that bag. Like just the setup to that was good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And so, and Mike's joining the game. What do you guys think of the third act of this movie? Because we have the zombie car chase, and then they arrive at the mausoleum because they say, it's the one place he won't look. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He probably is there.
He lives there.
Which I
Yeah,
don't
that's
think
clearly.
he is there. I think there's a weird thing about like kind of teleporting through dreams.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because like they saved Mike through a dream.
yeah, they
Right,
do.
yeah, which was really cool.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
really
and
cool thing.
Tall
Yeah,
Man, Mike is with Jody, and they are like spying on the Tall Man, and then he's like, looking around the room, which is kind of a cool. Like I know
yeah,
you're here. There you are, and then
yeah,
he comes back with them. So
yeah,
it's kind of trippy.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But I'm
But
saying that I would have been like, I don't want to go anywhere near Mausoleum.
yeah, no kidding, man.
Yeah,
I'd have went to a
for
church.
sure.
Yeah,
Couldn't
well, that
hurt.
doesn't do much good for him. Remember, in part
I
2, he
know.
hangs that priest with his own cross. I would have went to the last place he would have looked, a revival musical theater. You'd never check
You're
there.
probably right.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think of this third act in the Mausoleum?
Sorry about that. I mean, it's got some cool things to it.
No, I think it's pretty good, right? I mean, we get fights with each of the zombies.
Yeah.
We get to see Rocky gets to like kick some ass. Reggie gets to kick some ass. Tim gets to kick some ass. Mike is getting so. Mike's whole thing is wild because there's already a ball in his head, and
Yeah.
the tall man is trying to get it out.
Yeah, I still don't.
And
I'll be honest with you, I don't understand it.
we
Maybe it
aren't
gets
meant to
explained
understand
in
it
the
yet.
next one. Okay.
Yeah, because we're not meant to understand it. Basically, because remember the whole time he keeps saying that you need to remember who you really are. You need to get out of this
Yeah.
flesh.
Yeah, construct and
Yeah, yeah. So it's like he is the mirror image of the tall man, and so he's wanting him back. And so I remember that as a kid tripping me out when he's cutting into his head and he finds the ball and his eyes
Yeah.
turn. I remember as a kid being like,
Dude,
all
the
this mean?
eyes. That was an insane effect. I've never seen that done practically in a movie before. Of
It was
like
pretty cool.
chromed
Yeah.
eyeballs.
yeah,
That was awesome. I was like, I want chrome eyeballs.
yeah, it's pretty cool. So the actual, what do you guys think of all the action stuff with them? With the zombies and Reggie and
I think
Tim.
the zombies look really great. There's some redundancy in this.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So they could have trimmed that up a little bit, but they also wanted everybody to get their like little
Time to
victory.
shine. Yeah. Everybody needs their time to shine.
And yeah, but I like the practical effects for these zombies were just.
I
great.
love when Reggie pops up with the gun, that guy.
Oh
And
yeah,
he's-
yeah. All your friends are losing their heads.
Yeah, and
They
pop.
blows their head off. What
Yeah,
was
that's a great one.
the Jody ball? I don't know what else to call him.
Yeah,
When he's in his ball form, like attaches to the one guy's head and spins it off.
that's a great
pretty
scene.
great.
I love
Oh,
that.
that was
That's such a
crazy.
great bit. I remember, when I watched it this last time, I made a note of that because I love that he attaches it and he just spins it until it fucking. I was like, oh, that's cool. I like that.
The
That's very
noise-
clever.
The noise that it made me laugh. That was
Yeah,
like,
it's such a clever. It's such a clever kill. I was like, oh, I like that. That's pretty neat.
we haven't really talked about the Jody ball, but I really like the Jody ball. I mean, I guess we did touch on it a little bit, but
Yeah,
I love how like it's like guiding them. Like I think that's
Mhm.
really cool. And like I like that it's like black. Like
Yeah.
it's like a black
'Cause it's been
ball that's,
charred.
like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
different.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's pretty cool. I like it.
I do too, and I like how when Tim is on the gurney, the Jody ball releases the razor so he can cut himself.
Mhm.
That all that shit's really cool.
Then he
and then
immediately gets captured after that.
Yeah, but then Mike and so what do you guys think of the way they kill the tall man in this one? I think it's a pretty good one.
Yeah. So they lock him in a freezer essentially,
Yeah, because
and
they
then
put him
his
in liquid nitrogen and then lock him into the freezer. Because they stab him with a liquid nitrogen spear, and
Oh,
then
there was
lock
another
him in.
joke right there with Rocky and Reggie where they were looking at the liquid nitrogen and he was like the like cryogenics or whatever, and he was like, she was like, some people just never know like when to give up or something. Or
Yeah,
what does he say? He makes a comment and he's like, look who's talking.
yeah, yeah,
I can't remember what he said, but
yeah.
it made me laugh.
That is good. Yeah. So Derek, like you were saying, he's stabbed and put in the freezer, and then
hmm
his face busts out because we get to see him in his ball form, which is this really cool gold ball, which I love.
Yeah.
And I like how it's so powerful. It just like it doesn't attach to people's head. It puts holes in their head.
Like
Like
Oh
straight
yeah.
through.
yeah,
Like
straight through that chick's
Because
head.
that
Bugs Bunny.
lady, obviously, she died with the tomahawk, but then she got ran over with a car. She got,
Yeah,
I don't know if she got burned. Maybe she got burned too. But like,
yeah. And well, yeah, she got shot and then ran over. Yeah, because it like caught her on fire.
Dude,
And then,
that scene where she got ran over was so cool.
dude, the
yeah.
car
And like
effect,
the
the car
car
when the car
explodes,
crashes
like,
is so good.
it's so cool.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
don't know if it's good, but it's so cool that you're
yeah,
like,
I love it.
that was awesome. Like it
Yeah,
explodes like three too many times, but
yeah, but the actual crash itself is
yeah.
really fucking cool.
And like
Like,
seeing that dummy get hit was like pretty awesome.
yeah, it's great.
But yeah, they
And
flipped that car so hard. Like
yeah,
that was like
bam.
one of the gnarliest flips I've seen.
Yeah, it's a good one. And then so when the tall man, how they did that, they I love how Reggie ends up defeating the tall man by catching him in a plunger
Yeah.
and then putting him in
Right?
that liquid nitrogen. That's fucking great. That's so
He
funny.
like he picks up a plunger and is like, oh,
Yeah, oh man.
not the weapon I was thinking, but it turns out it's perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect weapon.
So funny. And then so we get the end here where Mike is on the basically he's trying to figure out what's going on. He's afraid. He's afraid that he might hurt his friend, so he leaves. Mike cuts out. And Rocky leaves because she doesn't want to stay, Reggie's like, "Oh, we need to stay around and make sure see if there's any clues or whatever and clean up." And she's like, "Fuck that. Let's get out of here." Or I'm getting out of here. It was fun, but I don't want to be chased by this tall guy anymore. And she gives
I
them
can't
all like
blame
a
her.
yeah, no, can't either. Gives them all like a hug. It's kind of sweet because she's trying to be tough, but she lets her guard down a little bit and hugs them, and it's like, okay, enough of that. Um, and then we get the actual ending with Tim and Reggie in the thousands of balls. What do you guys think of this ending?
When he like sees him on the ceiling. I
Well,
can't remember.
You kind of see him on the ceiling whenever.
you see him on the ceiling before, and then he's pinned up against the wall with a bunch of balls. Reggie.
Oh
is.
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah.
And
I
then
don't know why
Tim
I
gets
can
pulled
never
out of the
remember
window.
the end of movies.
Yeah, I know. And then then Tim gets pulled out of the window.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think of
You
this?
know,
ending?
they kind of end this movie the same way that they end
The other two.
the other two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang
Exactly.
it. Yeah, you're
So.
right. It's like a
Yep.
cliffhanger there.
Yep, it's
Mhm.
always a cliffhanger, and it's always somebody being pulled through glass to end it. Because that's what happened to
That's
them at
like
the
a
end of
dream
Phantasm II.
thing.
Yep. I think it's a good ending. I think it's a fun ending, especially
Fitting ending.
since we're gonna get more. It's like a cliffhanger ending. Don Coscarelli actually he wrote and shot a different ending if this was going to be the last one, and I wish we kind of would have had it. But in the original ending, it ends with Reggie and Tim taking the tall man's ball up to like the Arctic. They're in the Arctic, and they bury it in the ice. and then they put a plaque on it that says, "Here rests the tall man," and then
Yeah,
they leave,
interesting.
and that's the ending. Which I think they should have ended the entire series that way, because that would have been a good way to end it. But that obviously wasn't the ending that they went with, because they didn't want a definitive ending yet. So even though Don Coscarelli said during the making of this one that he's ran out of ideas, so if he makes another one, it'd be purely for money, and then he
No.
made 2 more.
Cool.
He gave the he gave the jig. The jig is up. I don't know what.
Well, he got inspiration on part 4. There's a lot to talk about with that one, and a lot of stuff that went into pre-production that we'll get into when we do that one. But that wraps up this one. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of Phantasm 3?
So I'll go first. I love the practical effects in this movie. I've talked about it through the entire thing. The story, it felt like anyway. I'm getting tired. It felt like they tried to like move in a different direction. Like they had set up this lore or like the rules or the baseline for the franchise, and they pivoted a little bit. I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing. I'm just saying they pivoted a little bit away from like what it was with the little minions, and then now they're all false. Because the only time we see the minions are when he's creating one, and then at the very beginning. And I was so sad that they just killed off the main lady from the last one. I looked
Don
at our
Coscarelli wasn't.
Yeah, I looked at our ratings. So the ratings that I gave the last one a 7.5, which was like the high mark of I think this franchise. I'm going to drop this one a little bit. There was some redundancies in it, but I mean, it's still a good movie. I would watch this movie again in a year for sure. I'm going to go with a 6. What say you guys?
What did I give it last time?
You rated the last one a 7. Then a 7.
7. Yeah, I feel like that's. I can't really remember the second one very well, but I feel like this has got to be at least on par. I think I had probably just as good of a time watching this one as I did that one, as it from what I can remember, and the first one as far as that goes.
You gave the first one a 7 as well.
Okay, yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna give this one a 7 too, because I feel like they're all pretty solid. I actually like that they went back. I don't like the fact that they changed the character in the second one.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the actor, so it has nothing to do with that. But it's just purely like, they just they wanted someone hotter or something. They wanted a leading whatever. Like this guy did a great job in this one. I think he probably could have easily just done what the director wanted in that role. But
and that was his friend, right?
Yeah,
like they're all friends.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. It's crazy to see him like grown up so much in this one. I thought he did great. I thought he could have been the leading man easily if Reggie wasn't already in that role. But yeah, 7. The effects are great. The comedy is awesome. The stunts were incredible. And the story, it's like I don't even care that I'm confused because the movie is so fun to watch.
Yeah. What did I give Phantasm 2?
You gave Phantasm 2 an 8. You gave Phantasm 1 a 7.
I'm giving this one a 7 as well. I think I'm with Lydia. I think this movie is a lot of fun. Like I said, I have a nostalgia for it, but I also just think it's like a good watch. Like it's just a fun one to put on, and just I think this one like moves the lore a little more, so we get some more lore stuff. But it has just this fun tone, and there's stuff of it that's goofy, I'm sure, but I dig that. So yeah, I think this. I love just watching Reggie whenever he's on screen. I like watching Reggie get shut down when he's trying to get laid. It's just like a pastime of mine. So I think this one nails all of that stuff really well. I'm also going to give it a 7 because it rocks. It's a lot of fun.
It's not boring at all. I don't think either.
No, that's the other thing. It's like there may be some redundancy, but it's not boring. You're engaged the entire time, and the jokes land, and you get to, like I said, you just get to see Reggie, who shouldn't be cool at all because he's this fucking ice cream. He's an ice cream man with a fucking mullet with a skullet going on.
Yeah,
He's just somebody's dad, but he's just the coolest guy ever.
yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, Reggie's the best. Yeah, 7 for me. The series slaps. So far, we're riding high on the Phantasms. Things are going to get dark eventually, but until then, we're riding high. All right, guys. Tough decision here. Who would Tom Atkins play?
Oh man, who did we give him the first 2 times?
I think we gave him. I don't know who we gave him in the Phantasm.
I'm gonna say
but
Mike.
Yeah, or I'm gonna say Jody.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jody as well.
Jody.
Yeah,
He doesn't have a big role.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I didn't go with him. Because I'm not gonna
Yeah.
replace Reggie.
Well, no. Reggie's
Because
irreplaceable.
then he would get all the chicks. So.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense because he'd just be getting laid the entire time. Totally,
which is probably what Jody was the one that was the one getting laid all the time. So
he was. Yeah. Yep. So I'm going with Jody as well. Lydia. All right, Derek, it's your turn to pick, right?
Is it?
Well, I just picked,
I think it's my turn.
It's your turn to pick, Lydia. Yes.
Because
So what are we
Derek
watching?
picked. I know what you did last summer.
Yep. So it's your pick.
Okay, so I'm kind of. I'm not set on anything right now. So I'm trying to decide. I have a few in mind, but I don't know. What should we do? Like, do you guys want to hear my ideas, or do you want to just pick like a random like number?
Oh, Lydia, I'm so good at this.
You're so good at it. Okay.
How many options are there?
Okay, so I'm just gonna number them as. Let me think. Okay, so we've got 1.
Unless, Jamie, would you like to pick? I think I did last time, and it was a great pick.
No, it was the worst pick we've ever had.
That's a lie. That's a lie. We watched the Munsters.
That's true. That's true.
That's true. Yeah.
That was on our own volition.
Okay, so we'll do. Let's say 1, 2, or 3.
Okay, Derek. Don't let me down.
Don't lay you down. I mean, I make no promises. I'm gonna go with number 3.
Number 3.
Yep.
All right, so that would be Insidious. So which Insidious movie are we on?
We've definitely done. I think we've done 2. I think we're on part 3.
Insidious. Was it C or an S?
No, we're on part 4.
Are we on 4?
Yes, because we
Yeah,
did
we
the
are.
breathing guy.
Yeah, we did, didn't we? I was thinking that too.
And that was recently.
Yeah, that was kind of recent, wasn't it?
That
Yeah.
was a year ago.
Yep.
A year ago.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, so
About time.
which
Like,
one are we on?
almost to the day,
Should
Lydia.
be on 4. Really?
Almost to. Yeah, 7/16 was the creation date of that record.
Wow.
So Insidious 4, I think, is called The Last Key. Yes.
Okay, The Last Key. Okay.
Let's see. That is streaming on. Well, it's nowhere. You have to rent it, but Amazon Prime, Google Play, Fandango, YouTube, and Apple TV. That's where you can find Insidious: The Last Key. I feel like I watched this not too long ago. Well, no, it was probably when it came out. So 2018 is when this one came out. So yes. Yeah, we are. I forgot how many of these fucking things we've watched and how many of them there are.
Right?
There's 5, I think. I think there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, Insidious 4. All right, Derek, you got a story for us? For crying out loud.
Man,
I
I
had a
Only
got.
had
suggestion of stories for this episode of we could
Yep.
tell some
Go
weird
for it,
dreams
Lydia.
that we've had since we're in the
Oh,
dreamscape.
that's
Okay.
great. Lee
I've
Winnell
just
wrote the new Insidious movie, like the one we're gonna watch.
Lee Winnell
Did not
wrote
know
all the
that.
Insidious movies.
yeah,
Oh well.
Yeah,
Derek, where have you been?
you know, he and James Wan created the Insidious movies.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Check this out.
So
Hey,
And he's
he
in them.
also wrote Saw.
yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, sure he did. Is that in color or black and white, Derek?
I'm about ready
Got
to
him.
resign.
What? Tell me a strange dream you had, Lydia.
Well, okay, so last night, since I've been sick, I've been having a lot of them. That's what kind of gave me the idea, too. Last night I had a dream I was in a cult. And then, like earlier
Clearly
this week,
relevant for the times.
What did you
Continue.
say, Jamie?
I asked if you were wearing a red hat.
I don't think so. I don't know. It was very weird, though. I gotta say, it was so weird. Like, too weird to even describe. But earlier this week, I had a dream that I was, like, swimming in a lake that was, like, my dad's old house's backyard. And the water started, like, rising. And, like, Jake came up, like, swimming up to me and was like, come with me. And, like, swimming to the shore or whatever. And I was like, oh, why is the water rising? And he was like, oh, it's just millions of jellyfish. And I look down and there's like I can clearly see like just jellyfish like filling the water, and I was just like, okay, yeah, you're probably right. I don't like jellyfish, so it was like him just like leading me out of the water that I didn't like.
That's so funny.
So yeah, I'm full of weird dreams all the time.
Derek, what's yours?
Man, mine is like super personal. Like,
Oh no.
I remember having this dream when I I woke up like in a fit of like crying.
Oh no.
Like it was so bad. My mom, like my brother and I shared a room upstairs, and my mom was downstairs, and her husband at the time like ran up the stairs and into the room because I was like just screaming and crying. So let's see if I can remember all the details. So I was like, the parts that I remember, I was running from these people, these kids, and they were chasing me. And I like ran into this random house and hid on like the back porch behind like a washing machine or something like that. And they came to the door and somebody answered the door and told them that I wasn't. This is so kind of weird and morbid. Told them that I wasn't there or whatever. And so like when they left, the guy came and like got me, and it was my grandpa. And I was like, oh, grandpa! Like I was so happy to see him and that those kids were gone. And I gave him a hug, and he like flinched, and I looked, and they had stabbed him.
No,
And
no.
I know, man. And he was dying, and like that, I woke up in just like a fit of terror and crying, and I was so sad, and yeah, it left a mark. I was like 5 or 6, and I remember
Wow.
that dream.
I have some dreams that I remember from that age too.
So one of the dreams I remember that's wild is I actually had a dream that had a false ending, like that you see in movies. It happened to
Oh
me.
no.
Yeah, so I had a dream that I was being chased by the Shape, and like it was like so real and intense. I was, I don't know, I was a kid. I don't know how old, maybe 11, and like he was chasing me, and I ducked down this alley and whatever, and then I thought I escaped him, and I turned around the corner, and he was there, and I run right into him. He lifts the knife, and I wake up, like he was about to stab me, and I woke up. I was like, oh my god, and I'm laying in bed, and I look over, and I have a closet in my room, and the door of the closet starts to open, and out of the darkness, I see the white mask appear, like the scene from the movie, and the shape steps out, and I remember screaming. I woke up, and I was in my bed, and that closet door was there, and I fucking stared at it for like 2 hours. So I was like, no way. So those fake out endings actually fucking do happen. I had a dream with a false ending.
That's crazy. That would be scary.
It was. It's scary enough that I remember it like 30 years later almost. I'm just like, I remember like the terror I felt. I remember just looking at that. I watched that closet. I was like, I'm fucking awake. I'm pretty sure. Better not be any shapes in there. And now I surround myself with them. Oh.
Twisted.
All right. And that'll do our show this week. So remember, next week we're watching Insidious: The Last Key. Be sure to comment down below on your thoughts on Phantasm III, Electric Boogaloo. Let me know what you think. Is this your favorite Phantasm? Is this your least favorite Phantasm? What do you guys think of Reggie? Will he ever get laid in this series? We'll have to keep watching to find out.
You got laid in the last one. That one blonde girl that with her hair came off.
Yeah, I guess, but her hair came off.
Wasn't a blonde girl though.
Yeah, she was totally a brunette, by the way.
Well,
Whatever.
whatever the hair color was, it was the tall man, wasn't it? It was like a disguise.
It was the tall man. Yeah, it was definitely the tall man, essentially.
Which is
Whatever.
crazy.
He still got some.
The blonde girl is the lady in lavender.
I meant
who
blonde.
is definitely the tall man, and like he's like fucking people on tombstones and shit.
Yeah.
Having sex with that weird mustachio dude that's going, oh yeah.
Dude, I have completely forgotten about.
That was so funny.
So anyway, let us know what you think about all of that shit we just talked about. Comment down below on all of that. The movie will be out by the time you see this. It is actually being colored currently, so we're getting the color grade on it. So it is done ski. So you will be seeing it here very soon. You can follow us online at HiLaProductions.com. You can follow us on Facebook at HiLa Productions. Follow us each on Twitter. You can follow Lydia at Lydia Spooky, Derek at DDoglyMaster, and me at Racket. So be sure to reach out to us and comment down here as well. And stay tuned for the movie because it's going to be exciting. So next week, Insidious: The Last Key. So until then, for Derek Lemaster and Lydia Judy, I'm Jamie Hiles. Remember, if you're going to scream bloody movies.